there are two things that could happen on tomorrow that I
Go up or down.
Because my bullish thesis is that we broke out of a high that has been there since, or we broke out of resistance that has been there since like 1989, 80 something. So that's a big thing. We have all the like 5 EMA, 8 EMA, 10, all of them are pointing bullish, 20s even curling bullish and stuff. So it's looking super bullish, and that's why I have the bullish thesis. But like Mystery Man pointed out, on the bearish side of things, like the volume was super low. Maybe this is just a fake breakout. Maybe they're just trapping everyone in it now that everyone's bullish on this market, and they're just gonna flush it.
It's possible. And the other thing that's possible is the opposite of what everybody continues to think is going to happen continues to happen. And if you look at it from a chart perspective, the S&P's last dip right before November, end of October, it came down, it came real close to 320. Remember, it hit like 321, 322. Then if you look at what's happened out of that, it came up on the Biden election, the win announcement. It went up over it gapped to like 365, faded that whole day. And everybody thought, all right, that's it. That's like the nail in the coffin candle. It's going to start to, it's never going to get higher than that. Now it's building a flag and it's starting to break out. If this thing eclipses that gap up, two things can happen. It can just get rejected and it can be a bull trap right there. Or for all we know, it could ride the next $40 to 400 and it could hit 400 before they pull the carpet on this thing. That could happen, and everybody will be pissed the whole ride up because I
think you're gonna run this big, and then they're just gonna flush it as when it hits big. Like everybody's calling SPY 400, SPY 365. I think maybe
that's what I think. I think a bull trap. You think it's gonna, but it could go to 400 too.
Like everybody's so bullish now on the market.
I know.
I'm not.
And then we got Uncle telling me that.
I can't think of anything.
Then what's your bearish thesis other than the volume? News?
I mean, there's a lot.
The whole fucking country's gonna shut down again.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you just shut down.
More small businesses are gonna shut down, shut their doors, not open again.
And we might as well be recording this, but listen, not only is the country shutting down, everybody thinks Biden is already baked into the market, which I completely disagree with. And have you seen the insider selling on most of these? Yeah,
everything.
Insiders selling left.
Microsoft,
and right.
He sold a ton, didn't he?
Microsoft.
Name any company, pretty much.
Yeah, name any company, and you're going to see 1 million insider form for sells. There's a few companies, you'll find buys on, and I think I posted it somewhere, but I had the insider sell the buy ratio, and it's at like record levels. So insiders are dumping, and they're not dumping for no reason right now if they think the markets are going higher.
I think you're right. We were just talking about, some of the big shorts that are starting to make predictions and basically saying, look, the country's going into lockdown. I mean, so Matt, Washington, you're in lockdown. Kyle, you're in advisory.
I don't know. I've seen it two ways. I've seen an order. I've seen an advisory from my girl, Lori Lightfoot. She said an advisory, I think. So it's not an order yet. But I know that for a fact that Chicago right now, like, you cannot eat inside. Businesses are closing already.
All right. And so here you can still do those things, but there's new rules in effect. And we're back to the they want you to be home by 10 p.m. curfew, but it's an advisory at this point. It's not an order yet. I assume we're going to be taking steps forward, more restrictions soon, because our numbers continue to go up here.
Futures are up, but you know what? I don't know. I never look at futures at night because they mean diddly shit to me.
Yeah.
Amen, brother. That's what I tell my Discord all the time. That's what I tell.
2 or 3 when China opens, I think they hold a little bit more weight, but I'm sleeping by then.
Yeah.
And then, I'm just about to go to sleep. And then usually by the night, anything, if it gaps up in the middle of the night, I'm bearish the next day. If it gaps down, I'm typically looking to buy the next morning.
Yeah, this is strong so far. We'll see what happens. I mean, I can't stand looking at them overnight because you'll be like, oh, I got some puts and hey, I'm going to be up huge. And by the time open hits, it's, you're green. You're like,
that's where they got me. I got trapped, and I told Discord this. I got trapped with a ton of puts because like you guys were saying, lockdowns were already happening around us. New York went in lockdown. California, Cuomo, Blasio, whatever his name is. You had Newsom out of California pretty much shut down Thanksgiving and Christmas. So I was like, we're going under shutdown. This is easy puts. And then they just blew me out of the water with a SPY melt up. And I was like, what the year?
That's been the year, though. Everything you think is going to happen, it's like it's almost just become logical to do the opposite of what you think is logical. Because
so that's what's working is I'm super bullish now, and I feel like they're going to flush this shit now that I'm bullish.
Yeah. I mean, but here's the thing. Remember what I said a few minutes ago? I said, there's not really that much bad news. COVID's spreading. We're kind of used to it, right? So hold on. That might be like the anti-negative. Maybe at this point, like now people kind of think the water's safe, and you're right. Maybe now it starts to dump. Or maybe now they give us a few more gap up days like this and then pull the carpet, which I could see happening too. Who knows? I think that at this point it's in control of the algorithms, and that's it.
Yeah, you gotta. It's a tough market to say the least right now. This whole 3 months has been super tough. I've lost a ton of money. I've been lucky and made a ton of money. So
I don't know what the fuck.
So when Walmart was around 135, I did 150 calls for January of next year, and those have hit pretty big. I'm still holding all of them because, to be honest, Walmart is huge. Walmart is more than a store. Walmart is more than e-commerce.
Walmart is life.
Walmart is more than a store.
I was gonna say, are you the guy that gives the fucking chant at the morning when everybody fucking?
Yeah, secretly I work at Walmart. So it's me at your local Walmart.
Yo, Sh0K, you're gonna meet your wife at Walmart.
Yeah, you think?
So.
Yeah, I think somebody's drinking the Kool-Aid, as we'd call it.
You know, all right, so whatever. We don't know what the market's going to do. Let's talk about what stocks do you think will do good regardless, whether the market does well or not. What do you think are anti-crash stocks right now, or at least in this environment?
Not Walmart.
Mario?
Online commerce.
Wait, hold on.
Online what?
Like commerce, like Amazon, shit like that.
Yeah, so let's talk about the stocks that if they panic drop, you should buy. Amazon, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Online e-commerce is going to stay hot. You know what else? I mean, so if Zoom takes a big tumble and then people realize we're going to be in this longer than they think, that could be a good one on the dip too.
New Jersey is keeping DraftKings afloat. We broke another record last month. I think it was like, what was it, 900 million just out of New Jersey alone?
Yeah. So I mean, gambling sites. You're going to be good. You're right.
DraftKings in general is just going to be a good long-term hold, even if it. Yeah. I'm starting a position in DraftKings right now for a long-term hold, like Penn, DraftKings. We
talked about it quite a while ago, and at the time it was in the 30s, and we said this isn't $100 stock. Eventually, I mean, I don't know if this year, next, or 5 years, but it's going to be a triple-digit stock.
Well, it's a little different because the recession stocks always used to be what? Tobacco, alcohol, and gambling.
Yeah.
But take gambling out of it because of the pandemic. I guess you still got alcohol and tobacco and firearms, I think. I still think firearms are going to be hot.
Well, you know what?
I haven't traded one firearm stock.
Yeah, I traded a couple. I
didn't, Smith & Wesson. I didn't trade anything. What was the one with the ticker you liked? You said POW, I think it was?
POW. Yeah, POW was a cheap.
Yeah. You know what? It was a no-brainer too. Like if you thought about it, because my brother got a gun license recently, and it was just like
going to. I kind of lost track of it after we talked about it in the twos. It was
POW?
POWW? Yeah, POWW.
Yo, Pete, how do you like Overstock?
Dude, I like it. I mean, the reality is, I went through that report. I went through every single thing I could look through within there, and I thought to myself, okay, where is the negative news? I'm looking for it. The negative news is that their delivery people, their shipment people cannot keep up with the orders, and some of their top orders are sold out because so many people are ordering them. These are quality problems to have, be selling out of stuff. The things that I took that were really important, they're hiring in key leadership positions throughout the company. So they're hiring in a pandemic. That's huge. It came down almost $30 after smash earnings beat by 275% on EPS, 200 million on the projected 500 million in revenue, right? So you look at those two things, then you think about this really logistically for a second. It dropped, and then it started to recover. The day the vaccine news came out, all tech stocks dropped. And it was just a trigger of Zoom and all these things that people were like, we're going back to normal. The irrational reaction. And then on the recovery, another $10. So when it dropped to 10, I love it. I'm going to try it here. And you use the lows as a stop out. That's it. The previous low, 48.
I mean, chart wise, I don't know. It's another bear flag though. Oh no, it's got a gap, but it still looks like another bear flag in the making.
But see, I don't think you got the bear flag because all it has to do is gap up to 160 and it's over.
Yeah, I mean, you got a small gap up, but it looks like you got even a stair stepper down. You got 1, you got 2, and then it looks like a third one down to the 200 MA.
Yeah. See, here's my thought on the 200 though, Chris.
That's a big drop. Though.
How often does the 200 truly hit? Only like in panic situations usually. The 100, the 50, the 20-day, those work as like support bounces. A lot of the time when I see a stock heading towards the 200 and I'm waiting for it, I miss it because I'm being greedy, like too close to the 200. I feel like they usually don't ever get there unless it's.
What's the story with Overstock? What do they do even more? Are they still considered a retail?
Yeah, they still do.
Right? Didn't they try to get into like
Bitcoin?
Yeah, didn't they?
Yeah.
I got the. Yeah, okay. I'm not losing my mind.
Last year.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure that was them. It was after.
Are they still? Yeah, no. Are they still in Bitcoin? Trying to get into it?
No, they're not. They started accepting crypto payment like 2 years ago. So they were a little.
Yeah, they were
I
trying
thought
to
they were gonna be miners or something. Though.
Yeah, they were trying
to. They have a blockchain company now too.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think that's why I got turned off by Overstock because once they started selling that shit, I'm like, all right.
Wasn't that when like Kodak said that they were gonna do it and they fucking ramped, and then Overstock was like, okay, we're gonna do that too.
Yeah, I mean Overstock did run big.
The other good thing about Overstock is that they have their dividend coming up. And then take a look at W, Chris. Look at W. That's Wayfair. Very similar chart, but if
I looked at it
the extra dump because they're the same kind of company, Overstock and Wayfair. Wayfair didn't take that extra dump on Tech Day that Overstock took.
Wayfair looks way more bearish to me.
So
if it doesn't hold here, I think Wayfair is going down at 220. Then
I mean, just look at the RSI, look at the MACD on that.
Again, they left the gap up again. I'm telling you, just like I said with SPY or SPY earlier,
just
leaving these gap up for a reason.
If it drops, it drops. But you use that stop at lows. It's good risk versus reward right here. We're going into the holiday season. A lot of people are going to be looking to buy new living room sets to keep their house comfortable while they're stuck at home all winter.
Yeah, you know what's going to drive this though, and I hate to bring it up again, is the stim. People are going to need the money. If people don't have money.
Yeah, if we don't pass the stim before Christmas.
Oh yeah, everything is relevant to that. Yeah, because the week before Christmas it expires.
Yeah.
No more unemployment, nothing.
Yeah, I think these have a lot to do with the stim package, believe it or not.
Yeah. And
some people, more than others.
Won't know until we get closer to it. We got another couple weeks. Hey, listen, here, Chris. Here's a question though for you, right? No stimulus package comes of light. The market starts tanking, but then we hear Cyber Friday or Cyber Monday, whatever it is, all-time high sales for e-commerce.
Yeah, of course, it's going to have all-time high sales because nobody's going to stores. People should know that it's a great record.
They should know that, but what's that?
People aren't going to brick and mortar. I mean, that's common sense, but you know what? You need a lot of people and be like, "Yo, Amazon broke highs or record sales." Yeah, of course they did.
But that's how irrational stuff is. So we don't know, and then they say all-time e-commerce, and the market goes up huge because of it, because it's stupid. Hey, people didn't shop in person, jackass. Like, that's why
Smart money knows. If I know it, smart money knows it. So it's just going to be a selling point. It's going to be like, boom, Amazon, Walmart, some other companies that don't have brick and mortar. They're like, oh, they broke Monday, Cyber Monday, and Black Friday sales, and then they're just going to unload on them because they know, of course, they're going to break them. Oh, their brick and mortar sales are going to, when they report, are going to be, in my opinion, are going to be down a lot more than they were previous quarter because we're still pandemic on previous quarters when it comes to fins.
Yeah, but my argument to that is on the news that a vaccine was coming out that could possibly start to take effect within society by next summer. They sold Zoom off like 20%.
Yeah,
For something that's not coming for like 9 months. You know, realistically, the vaccine's coming
Zoom's going to 500
tomorrow. I hope so. I hope you get a ton of money out of it.
Zoom's chart's just broken.
If it doesn't, then my kids aren't getting Christmas presents. Or
my cousins will get.
I say more reason to buy right now. Like all the stuff that doesn't make sense goes up.
My wife was just sending me stuff. You know, my daughter wants a dirt bike. My son wants an Oculus and this and that. And I'm like, fuck, it's Christmas already. Jesus.
Yeah,
I want an Oculus.
Yeah, Uncle, what are you sending me for Christmas?
I did send you something. I put Matt on the label though. Did you open it?
Oh, I haven't opened it yet because Twitter's blocked me. So I'm doing an unboxing video, but I can't upload it right now.
You should have unboxed it on here.
Talk about you getting blocked from Twitter. Did they give you any insight as to what got you blocked?
Yeah, so in case anybody out there is listening, I'm blocked on Twitter. I'm not blocked on Twitter. Apparently, I'm locked out of my account right now because of suspicious activity. When I talked to them about the suspicious activity, they kind of were just leading me to like, well, just reset your password. And I go, okay, that's fine. So I tried to reset my password, and I was in this like big loop of like, we are still locked out. Like, we have your account locked or whatever. So then I finally like emailed customer service. I was like, why am I locked out? And they gave me like a BS answer about how I've been misleading and misinformation. And I was like, wait a second. Like, I emailed them back. I go, wait a second. Like, I have not talked about politics on my account, and I'm a stock trader. Like, and like in my bio, I was like, read my bio. It literally says all my opinions. Like,
they must know your stock picks. They're like, holy shit, this kid's cut him off.
You keep saying short the market. It keeps going.
Yeah, now you know why you're misleading. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I have been misleading everybody on shorting the market. Yeah, so I don't know. So at the end of the day, they have my account locked because apparently I've been misleading. I legit think it's because I called out Jack Dorsey on his earnings report the other day, and he just hates me.
I call out Jack all the time.
They think you're a terrorist, be honest.
First of all, the guy looks like a cult leader right now.
He's like a CHWY character.
Yeah, I mean, the guy looks like he's out there.
Yeah, I mean, if Vermin Supreme's Twitter is not blocked and yours is, that's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on Rocket, Chris? I know I get a lot of comments about Rocket now. On Friday, it did bounce perfectly off the 50. We're ready for the breakout.
Yeah, that kind of goes back to what Pete's saying. A safe play. To be honest with you, I forgot about that. I think Rocket's a safe play because under either administration, it kind of takes politics out of it. Under either administration, it's going to do well, especially under Biden with the assistance program. I don't think they've ever even officially released Rocket Auto, did they? I didn't see a PR about it.
No.
That could be a catalyst. The $1 billion buyback is the catalyst because
good long-term pick.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't like the float on it, even though a lot of it's locked. And I don't want it to go above 23.50 until November 17th, just because I have my covered calls on it. And I'd like to collect on that premium, but I think it goes back to 25.30 by next year.
Yeah. I think
if not sooner. I think it's a
honestly, this could break out. Rocket could break out.
Craze, and they're doing a lot of refinances. Rocket is. Hey, I don't want to get too far ahead of it before I mention this, but news today: $100 million short on Bitcoin today. What do you make of it?
100 what?
$100 million short on Bitcoin.
Was it Chris?
Yeah, today.
Chris, was that you?
Executed. That's a pretty big chunk. I mean, you know, grand scheme of things, that's a pretty big bet for somebody to take.
On Friday, who was it? The Fed came out. Who was it? I forget who was the Fed, but they came out with a statement that they're unsure what they're going to do with Bitcoin. So it might be somebody just looking to de-risk.
Wasn't there a statement from other countries too that said that they would block Bitcoin if some scenario occurred?
I still think it's the tinfoil hat theory. I still think it's a massive government pump and dump, to be honest with you. I really do. And a lot of Bitcoin soldiers are going to hate me for that, but I don't know. I do think it'll be around. I don't think it's going to get shut down, but I think
you're showing your years. I think you're just showing how old you are.
No, because I listened
to the other guy that didn't like who didn't like Bitcoin was talking a bunch of shit. It wasn't Warren Buffett, was it?
I was gonna say blockchain has a path in the future, I believe, but I don't think. I mean, Bitcoin's gonna be around, but it's not gonna be a widely accepted currency. Some other back blockchain technology from.
Yeah, let me just clarify.
You're saying Bitcoin is MySpace and Facebook is going to emerge at some point, basically.
Well, that's because he's holding IPSI, so he wants it to succeed.
Yeah, like I say, you're in OTCs that have blockchain, I guess, as a catalyst or something. I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, but I have to wait for that to trickle down through the big board stocks.
Before I get attacked by all the Bitcoin bulls out there, what I mean by a massive pump and dump, I don't mean that. I think Bitcoin is one of two things. And again, I'm extremely uneducated, so don't hold this with too much weight when it comes to Bitcoin. But I listened to a podcast a few years ago, and I forget who it was, but they brought up a good theory. It's one of two things. It's the government is behind it, and I know the Twinkleberry twins and all that shit, whatever. They're gonna restrict it, load it, and then they're gonna let it be. I guess you can call it a currency, part of the currency stream, however you want to label it.
Hold on. So I see Mr. Stevens is in here, Cody. Cody, Cody's a very good trader. I'm allowing you to talk right now. So if you accept that, hopefully you're actually at your computer. Love to chime you in for a few minutes.
Allowing you to talk.
We'll see. Maybe he'll join us. I did be allowed to talk, so hopefully he pops up. Cody.
What's going on?
What's going on, man? How are you?
Good, buddy.
Good. So, hey, I know that you focus a lot on crypto. I mean, not a lot, but you got a good idea of what's going on. You do your research. What's your take on what's going on here?
Yeah, pretty much what you guys are saying. I don't think any of these blockchains are gonna, like, blockchain's the path to the future, but crypto is just the gateway drug.
Good way of putting it.
Yeah,
It's
heroin's coming, and it's gonna be government backed or big bank backed, right?
Yep, exactly.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
That's the only
I
way.
agree.
They can't let it get out of hand. I agree with that. So, Cody, what's your Twitter handle for people if they want to follow you?
Oh, Mr. Stevens _CO or what is it? You know what? I don't even know. I'm not very active on there.
Oh my god.
Mr. Stevens, yeah. So, you and I have chatted for a while. You have a lot of good picks. You've made me a bunch of money. Hopefully, I've made you some money too. If there's one stock that you would pick to watch this week, what is it?
Yeah, I'm liking, potentially we'll see what the weed stocks are doing. I'm following like the Canadian Tilray.
Yeah, me
and,
too. I like that.
I'm also monitoring the psychedelics space just to see if it gets any momentum going. But
yeah, and actually, I got one of my favorite psychedelic plays from you. You're up there. Where are you? You're in what part of Canada?
Yeah, BC, so the West Coast.
Yep, and you put me on to LY. I can't think of the LY.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. I really
like
the
company is called Numi, yeah.
I'll keep watching that one, and obviously all of them. I'm interested in all of them coming forward. But hey, man, thanks for tuning in. I just wanted to, chime you in for a minute. We appreciate you being here. And
yeah, buddy, I was enjoying your guys' conversation. It's good.
All right, man. All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Love.
Cool, buddy.
I think blockchain, like he was saying, blockchain is the future, but Bitcoin, Litecoin, I don't think that they're just the hopping point for what's to come.
So you're saying you're bullish on Dogecoin then? Is that what
I'm saying that they're like OTC stocks and they're gonna run and pump and fucking fall apart and everything in between. But
well, here's my thing. Here's my thing about blockchain, and here's my thing about sympathies off blockchain, especially Mara, Riot, MFH or whatever.
I don't even want to talk about those. They're not reacting. Nothing's reacting.
Well, this is why I think it's not reacting. The thing about them is that people know about them now. Like everybody knows about the sympathies of Mara, Riot, MFH. So like people already know ahead of time to load if Bitcoin's going up or whatever. And I think it's like what we were talking about just with the whole market in general. Bitcoin's ripping, but why aren't these ripping alongside? One, it's because everybody knows about it now. When sympathies like back in August or whatever, like when Bitcoin was first ripping, like Mara, reacted heavily just because like No one kind of knew about it, but now like I see all the time like traders Mara, Riot, MFH, and then they don't get hits now just because like it's so well known to the point like it's not new. It's not new to people,
Yeah,
and I think
no,
that
you're spot on about that. It's just interesting how little volume there is. So here's my theory to go with your theory. There is enough stuff that's, and frankly, EV is just like making it hard for momentum to go anywhere else because there's so much there. So that's like where all the day traders are. That's where all the money is going. That's where all the cash flow is.
Yeah.
And so once that finally does sort of get put to rest, and not put to rest, we know it's the future, it's a big thing. But once it sort of dies down from just going up, 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 I think we'll see other short-term catalysts with more propulsion, bigger moves, more madness across the sector. But the one thing that I think continuously happens with, you know, the aforementioned there is because everybody's hyped on it, it's just sucking the air out of any other sector momentum. Now, what I liken it to is the marijuana run-up. The pot stock run-up was approximately 2-3 years. Stuff like CGC went from like $150 to $60 at some point. ABCB, all those stocks went wild. Okay, Tillery went to 300, but that was bonkers. But all of that stuff occurred. This looks eerily familiar, the EV run up. And I'm not saying that EV is in the future because pot still has a huge future, but it was way overvalued and it wasn't going to get there for a while. And so it pulled back huge and now it's starting to maybe build up again and gain some value back. I could see EV actually doing something similar along the way. Once people kind of go, okay, we understand this company isn't producing cars for 3 more years. Maybe it shouldn't be $60, you know? Right now that logic isn't there, but it'll settle in eventually.
Well, sticking with EVs, what do you guys think? And I want to hear Chris's opinion because I mean, ever since I got locked on Twitter, I don't really see it like your guys' post anymore, which is sad. But what's your opinion on NIO right now? On like all the hype that's gone into NIO at $50. I was telling people that I was going to go short NIO because it's up 1,600% in a couple months here. And XBEV had that run up for earnings because they nailed it or whatever. Yeah. So my opinion on NIO honestly is different from a lot of people. I'm not bullish in the short term. I'm bullish in the long term of NIO for sure, because they have the whole Chinese like demographic for it, and they have the government back, so they could literally do whatever they wanted. Yeah. But in the short term, if you're looking at the charts or whatever, I mean, $40, it could potentially hit that master support around $30, which I think it could.
So notoriously, obviously there's 2 questions. If Citron Research doesn't release the short article on Friday, where does it close? I could imagine it being at 55 or 60 close on Friday.
Exactly.
And then actually turning this flagpole from 25 to 50 into 75 next. But now that Citron did this, I don't know. I could see it going back to 30 because his hits notoriously, he was able to create a very bearish engulfing candle on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
So now, if the demand isn't there to buy or there isn't some news to gap it up, you know, it could continue to go down, and then you trigger the panic sellers, the people who are buying 50, 45, all these, you know, and it just triggers down. But the big thing for me is when you look at the volume since this run up began, 400 million, volume days, 300 million.
Oh yeah.
It's once that dies down, the stock the momentum people will start to exit, which will send it down faster.
Yeah, I think a big part of it is the algos have it right now.
Yes.
Just momentum going into it. And call buyers tacking on. So every time call buying goes on, usually whoever writing the premium covers it with buying stock. I mean, I think once the carbs start to fall, they fall quick.
Yeah.
I'm not, a lot of people think it's the next China Tesla.
Yeah.
For that reason, I'm not bullish on it because of the China aspect of it. I'm not saying that it's a scam like a lot of these Chinese companies are, but I'm not. I also don't think it's worth. What's the market cap on this now?
I mean, Chris, I had this thing in my IRA at 178 a year ago or a year and a half.
Yeah, I know. And we were just talking about it the other day. I don't see how that for people who are in it. I don't want to scare anybody out of it, but I don't see how they don't do a secondary here. They're out of their fucking minds if they don't.
Yeah,
They're gonna raise.
That's what I was thinking too.
Secondaries at 9 and 14 or something.
Yeah, they're gonna raise cash here. I don't know how people don't see it.
Management would be
No,
raise cash up here.
That's what I was thinking too. That yeah, the offering was coming.
You know,
Yeah.
even you mentioned XPEV, XPEV. I mean, they had a widening loss. It was just revenues were record, and like it's funny how certain times people just ignore. Like in a different scenario, that's like it's going down. But in this scenario, because it was EV, it was good news. So
That's why I was thinking puts this week for XBEV. I was actually gonna do a lot of shorts. What?
What ticker?
XBEV.
XPEV. That was another Chinese EV.
That's another EV play on that one.
Ran.
Well, I was gonna go short like all these EVs. I was gonna go short NIO. I'm still short after it broke lower than 50.
I mean, but why go short all of them? I mean, really, they're all moving together. Don't.
Well, no, I know what you're saying. I'm not gonna go full hand or whatever.
If one of them goes down, both of them go down. You know, there's no reason to expose yourself double. In my opinion.
$66 billion market cap as of Friday.
What's that's insane. What were their sales? So what's
that? You know, I'm not a fundamental.
Well, NIO's ER comes out what 11? I could be wrong. 11.
They're what?
Oh no, doesn't NIO's earnings come out this week? I think they come out.
They're saying they have about $1.10 in cash per share. A lot of these upgrades too.
Yeah, listen. The income I'm seeing negative 1267.2 million. Think about that. Their income is, what?
Well, that's why. That's what I'm saying. Like, why is NIO 1,600% up? You had all these upgrades. What were the upgrades, Chris? Upgrades on them was JP. What JP?
1,000% year to date. 50% this month. In a month, brother.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
$1 billion shares outstanding. No, that cash value can't be right then. They don't have $1 billion in cash. No way.
Guess what?
It's the government backing.
Guess how many?
You guys are acting like the numbers are real or something.
Insiders own less than.
That's exactly my point, Matt. Yeah, it's a Chinese company.
ROI is
negative. They're gonna pump it though. Like that you have the fact that they're gonna pump it.
Profit margin negative 85%. I mean, they have to do an offering.
Their last earnings per share on trailing 12 month was negative $1.22. I don't know why I'm talking about fundamentals, but to me, it just seems like.
I know, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But
yeah, it doesn't matter anymore. Nobody trades fundamentals. And might be an unpopular opinion, but investing is officially dead, in my opinion.
What?
The only people investing is officially dead. Long-term holds.
That could be.
The only people who invest now, like for example, hedge funds. There's a good article out. Damn, I wish I could remember who wrote it. I can't remember anything beyond yesterday. So I read it.
That's all right. I mean, you're struggling. I get it.
It might have been like 3 weeks ago. No, you know what it was? No, I don't even want to say his name because then it'll just.
You don't remember anything beyond yesterday?
Yeah. I was going to say the guy's name, but then it'll just nullify what I'm about.
So Matt sent you a package and you instantly used it.
The guy's a nut, but he brings up a good point. He's like, basically saying hedge funds don't really invest anymore because and somebody put out a good stat the other day, like if you bought SPY in March and it went on one of the biggest bull runs ever, you would still be down so much money. There was some other stats within there, but so these guys are getting in and out of trades a lot quicker than they used to, and I think that's why they crushed the. They wanted the hedge funds and all the big money to report their buying and sells more often. I think more than quarterly they wanted it because I think they're getting in and out of stocks a lot more than they used to. I mean, it's hard to, except for like NIO.
I agree.
You're right. I mean, dude, when you see S&P just fluctuating between $1 all day, and there's like at the bottom half of the dollar, there's big buys, and at the top half, they're big sells, and they rinse and repeat it all day. I mean, it's like an obvious thing that's going on. They're just flipping back and forth, and they're burning premium while they're doing it for, your average person.
I think that's where, again, might be an unpopular opinion, but I think that's where a lot of, especially in the hedge fund industry, I think that's where a lot of their money's coming from right now is writing and selling premium, and then just throwing their weight around and just crushing people's premiums.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I write premium. I mean, it's especially anything that you hold long term, and I think down the road, because so many people ask me about covered call writing. It's such an easy thing to do, and especially if you have long term investments, or it's such an easy way for passive income that people are like, oh, selling covered calls, it's so confused. It's the easy. If I can understand it, anybody can understand it. And you know, I wrote covered calls going into rocket earnings, and you know, they're down. I'm like up 90% on them, which means I only have 10% left in the premium before I collect the full amount. But it's especially in high delta stocks in a choppy market like this, it's such an easy way to make money and protect yourself on like if you're holding Disney Commons, Kyle. I mean,
yeah, you're throwing me right under the bus.
Start selling calls against it. The worst thing you can do is you can go through your strike. You can buy more shares, so your broker can turn them over. But if you have commons, anybody that has commons, it's unless you can't get a good premium, it makes no sense to me to not sell covered calls in a market like this and collect a premium in the meantime. Otherwise, you're just bouncing up and down with the market. It doesn't make sense. You might as well collect the premium in the meantime.
It's a great point.
Wait, didn't you do that? Wait, you didn't you
I
do
did
that
it on
with,
Rocket. I did it on.
with Rocket, didn't you?
I did it on Rocket. And I did it on. That's what saved me on.
That was no, because you did that right when they became public, didn't you?
No, that was Fisker. Yeah, I got like $5 or $6 a share. So what it does is basically, I think my average on Fisker was $12 a share. I wrote soon the day the options opened, they opened up at $12, but my E-Trade wouldn't let my order go through until about 5. I started chasing the bid down, and I got them for like $5. So what that does, if you sell contracts for all the shares that you have, so every 100 shares you have, you can sell one contract. I sold covered calls on my whole position at $5 a share. So it basically lowered my $12 average to $7. Now I wrote $20 calls, so if it went past $20, it would have capped my upside past that. But that's like selling at $25. So I bought at 12, and I bought a lot, and I would have took selling at $25 anyway. I mean, 105, 110% on a big investment. I mean, it was a no-brainer, and then it ended up just friggin' getting toasted and
Yo, Matt is just up here just having just smoke out. Not saying
I can't even see his eyeballs at this point. I can't see his eyes. Like
just taking it all in.
So honestly, I thought of while you guys were talking about that. Let's start with Matt. But real question. All right, gun to your head. You got to take 20% of your portfolio, and you have to put it into a sector. I don't care what stock it is. Tell me the sector. And it has to stay in for a year, okay? Obviously, I don't want anybody listening to do this. No, this is an extreme situation. But let's say you had to put 20% of your overall account into a sector, and it had to stay there for 1 year from today. What sector is it? Matt first.
Renewable energy.
Okay. Easy for you. Chris?
Okay, I can't use that one then? Okay, fine.
Go ahead,
Kyle.
Everybody thinks I talk about Walmart e-commerce. I'm not. I would do gambling, just because I legit think gambling is at their lows. Like we're gonna get more and more,
and all that stuff.
More and more states are gonna do online gambling on your phone. It's gonna become legal. Sports are kind of not back. People's interest in sports are kind of not there just because there's no fans. I think a big reason why sport ratings are down is because there is no fan base. When you get a reaction out of crowds or whatever, it makes the experience way better for the audience. So I think once sports come back with fans, I think you get more gambling. People will be at these. So I think just the gambling sector in general is just going to explode.
Yep. Chris?
No, I agree with both those. Renewable energy, casinos, and then I would also say
your favorite win casino, baby.
But Chris, if you got to pick one, what is it? One.
After the election, and I still like the mortgage industry.
Okay.
REITs. I still think. Don't get me wrong. It would be a more risky one in my opinion, because I think we're in a sort of a bubble. But REITs, I think, is a nice sector right now, and they've been ripping.
I can't disagree. I mean, Why not? I mean, residential real estate and commercial real estate and all that is they're going to be, commercial's going to get repurposed in a lot of instances, and
What about weed?
is in high demand right now. Houses,
Especially if Biden comes out and does some type of, because I mean everybody knows how. Well, I would think a lot of people know how the market works. You know, people start to come out of college, they get a job, they usually find a wife to get nailed down to and ruin their lives.
Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, and then they buy a house. So they buy a starter home. After you buy a starter home, you have some kids. They drive you nuts. You get gray hair, like me, and then you're looking to move into your next house, and it's a pattern, right? You go up. Right now, a bunch of kids or a bunch of younger generation have a lot of student debt. They can't get jobs, so they can't buy starter homes. People that can't sell their starter homes can't move up. It's just a trickle up effect.
Yep.
I think if Biden puts in some type of student loan forgiveness, which I'm completely against, but let's not go there. I think that that'll open
on, Kyle.
That could possibly light the market even more if people coming out of college are able to buy houses.
Yeah.
Because the real estate market is a trickle up effect. You need people to buy starter homes in order for people to sell their homes and buy bigger homes and all the way up.
Exactly. You got to be able to sell your home to get the next level up. It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're Chris, then you can just
Give me student loan forgiveness, so I don't have to pay my student loan.
I was gonna say the market here is still like it's the 5th hottest market in Spokane for housing. Like my neighbors sold their house in 2 days.
Yeah.
There's like literally 35 people that looked at their house. Like it was
The
just
guy
fucking
coached with,
all
he
day
didn't even
long.
have
Just like smoking the bowl and looking out the
I
window.
was just like, holy fuck! My dog was going nuts because it's like thinks that
Did you
people
go?
are breaking
Did you
into
go
my
do a
fucking
tour?
neighbor's house all day. Like there's more people breaking into their house.
Did you go do a tour?
No, they're my neighbors, so they're cool. I've been in their house before.
Okay, fair enough. If you hadn't been in there, would you have gone?
No.
the house market's ridiculously hot.
This was brought up in my Discord today, and I kind of want to hear your opinion because I didn't even know it. But the VIX, calls or expirations expire on Wednesday, I think. So I wonder if there's going to be anything there that's bearish.
There's been almost no volatility.
This Friday, OPEX? Oh, yeah, it is. This Friday's OPEX. That could be part of the reason that the market's melting up, now that I think of it, too. Right? What are we in? Friday? Yeah, it's 20th. That's the third week.
It's interesting, man. Taking a look at the VIX, it's been holding this 20 level really well.
It was brought to me by one of my Discord moderators, and he was talking about
back just before COVID. There's a gap fill on Friday, February 21st to Friday the 24th, or to the Monday the 24th over the weekend. It gapped from $17 to 22 and hit 26 that day. So there's a gap right there that it hasn't filled. I wonder if it'll fill that or if it'll continue to hold this level.
You bring a good point, though. I think the VIX is coming into buy. It is, in my opinion. If it holds here, it's a buy. So.
Yeah. So, it's funny because sometimes things like this can signal what's coming next, even when we're unsure. So S&P looks all bullish, and this kind of looks like bottoming. So it'll be very interesting to see what it does tomorrow.
The futures are still green, right?
They are. S&P.
Well, that's the thing that everybody is having trouble with right here. We already, like, the news of shutdowns is already out there, right? New York, Chicago, or Illinois, Chicago, California, and stuff. Like, the news is already out there, and people are not dumb enough to realize, like, we're probably more states will shut down. So, like,
Sure.
That's the tough part. Why are markets green? Why?
Let me give you one hypothesis that I think it could possibly be true. And we know the Fed is still able to pump money into this market and keep it propped, right? Yep. There could be something going on internally that's just beyond anyone's control, hedge funds, et cetera, where you look at this and you say, China comes out and announces 7% growth. That's a power move by them. Whether they have COVID over there or not, whatever the hell's going on, who knows? But that's a power move by them to say, we're going to grow while the rest of the world is going to shrink. Their currency has already caught up to the rest of the world's currency significantly, anyone they were behind, and put a bigger lead in anyone they were ahead over the last couple months. So this could be a move internally we don't know about, where the U.S. is like, we have to keep our market up because China's trying to get control economically here. They are, to an extent. I mean, they're using this to their benefit. So,
China owns us. They own most of our debt.
they
Matt,
own us,
Matt,
and they're
Guys, what are you getting ready? Start a cult over there? What's that flag in the back? Oh, is that Marley? All right. I was like, kind of like ISIS-y. Like,
Yeah, sorry. My head's in the way. It's Marley. Don't worry. It's a happy flag.
What's going on in your countertops back there?
What, me?
Yeah, you just got lots of shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
really. Why don't you try putting stuff away after you buy it, not just leave the bag?
That's the cat.
We got paper plates. We got an iron. I guess I was ironing something the other day.
Is that your kitchen?
Going.
Is that a microwave?
This is not my kitchen. This is my bar downstairs.
Ah. Okay, that makes a lot more
That's
sense.
even more of a reason to have it neat. Get it together.
Look at
I might have a
look at
girlfriend.
my setup
He's not
down.
allowed to have anybody come over that doesn't live in his house, so.
Look at my setup. Look at this. I could do this. I could do this. What kind of
Oh.
mess do you
I could do this. I could open doors. I could take a glass.
I think he's just saying that to me because he knows I can't.
I'm a big Jimmy Buffett fan. What's good?
This. I can drink this. I can smoke this. I can eat some of these.
I got chocolate.
I thought that was his kitchen. I didn't know it was his bar.
Oh yeah, you got
Hey.
that's your bar. I thought that was your kitchen.
Yeah, what? You have a fake ID to buy stuff?
Come on, man.
My hidden stash of chocolate when girls come over.
But how often does
Yeah,
that?
once a year. Is that why the box is full?
Nancy Pelosi was just here. She had one of them. So
All right. So what's your going into this week? What are your top 3 looks?
all right. Let me go to my watch list real quick. Hold on. Okay, well, Walmart. Okay, people know that at this point. Well, actually, to be honest with you, I think Walmart takes a shit here after it breaking over 150. I think it goes back to
After I just
140.
told everyone to buy it.
He's like, I haven't done it.
Like Twitter's trying to shut him down.
I think
Matt's ripped and he knew that was coming.
All right, so I'm looking at our Discord right now. So my top three this week would be Overstock. I think Overstock is curling. I know or Uncle is kind of disappointed and is like, I'm bearish on everything right now. Pouty face.
I'm not there.
But I think so. Overstock is a good one for me this week. Pete, like you said, I actually think it sees like a 6 to 8% day here, trying to go back to 60 to regain that. I think
it needs to have a strong day tomorrow, though. It has to.
Oh yeah.
Near the highs and push.
What happened?
So I think another one, AMD. I have this on my. It just touched the 50 SMA yet Friday. What?
Good. I like that. Actually, going back to Pete's question before, I think that's another good sector. Chips. Whether you're home or not, they're selling chips.
So I got AMD on my watch list. I said it also held the 50 SMA on Friday. The entry I had was about now or 80.50. I have a PT at 87.50 right now. That's a huge resistance level going into this week. And let's not forget for earnings and they have the partnership and it got beaten down. So I think it curls here. I think it's going to consolidate a little bit here Monday, Tuesday, maybe rip going through the week. So I do like that one. I gave it a high rating. AMD, yeah, AMD.
So my brother, who is not a stock trader and does not focus on stocks, he just long-term stuff. He is one of the most knowledgeable tech people I know. He's been, just crushing it in the tech industry since 2000, and he really has a grasp on this stuff. He gave me NVIDIA at 36, and we know what happened there. And he had that one. AMD, he said to me recently, within the last few weeks, he said AMD will be over $100 within a couple of years, and it'll be a $200, $300 stock. And I'm basing that strictly on the fact that they are crushing Intel in every facet of technology, not price, or any, just their tech is so much better than Intel's. He says people just don't realize it yet. AMD is going to be a monster. And I believe him. So I said, even at these levels, he said, even at these levels.
I mean, how do you like the charts? I like the chart right now going into next
good,
week.
But it's come up a lot, obviously. But when my brother says something like that, I listen. You know, he knows his tech, and he says AMD has the market by the ball.
So I have AMD. Chris, do you want to add anything to AMD before I move on to my last one?
No, I like AMD.
So I think AMD has a strong week. Like I said, I have that entry at now or 80.50. PT's at 7.50. That's a huge resistance. If it breaks over 87.50,
1 second. Go ahead.
we could see a huge spike. Another one to keep an eye on this week is Tesla. This one's
What's Tesla?
Tesla. Tesla.
Is that like a
Sweet
ripoff
Leno?
of the car?
Is that the German Tesla?
Sweet Leno. So
I guess
Tesla. Tesla, I think, has a strong week. But so for Tesla, I think it's kind of weird here. It's been consolidating here. The breakout points for me, what I have on my scanners is 422. 422 is on my scanner, and then a 463 over is on a scanner for me. I think those could be breakout levels. Entry 410 or 400. The 375 range is also interesting to me as an entry point if it breaks down under 400. There's not much to say about Tesla other than the MACD looking to sneak positive here. I have that in my notes.
All right.
I don't know. I think Tesla over 422 hits my scanners, and then over 463 hits my scanners to a $500 push again.
That's why I always say, like, people are always like, oh, I want to learn technical analysis. I want to learn how to read fundamentals. To me, the most important thing it's the hardest to teach too, and I tell everybody that sends me DMs, is emotions. You know, if you can't get your emotions in control, it doesn't matter how good you can draw fucking lines on a chart, or how good you can read a financial statement. None of that shit matters if you are not able to control your emotions, or if you're trading with money that you can't afford to lose, because then you'll definitely trade.
That's it. You nailed it. I was going to just say, everybody go around, say the number one thing you do to, you know, make sure that you keep those emotions at bay. And it's 100% for me, proper position size. If you're in more than you should be in, you're gonna be the guy who sells at lows and then looks 20 minutes later and they're like, oh my God, I'd be in the green now. And then the next day you're like, you want to kill yourself, right? Yeah. It's proper position size for me. What is it for you guys?
For me, so this is an interesting one for me. I would definitely say what keeps my emotions in check is having a plan. Yeah. My CBD lollipop that I'm gonna need after I get my.
I'll put it on a binky for you in the next unboxing. I'll send it to you, and you can just suck on it all.
Yeah, when are you sending me something, dude? I thought you were sending me something.
Yeah, send me your address. I'll be.
Will you turn your ghost on, please? Turn your ghost on.
You know my address, dude. You're my uncle. Okay, anyway.
Turn his ghost on.
Yeah, that ghost is still freaking me out.
Turn the ghost on.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to move. I'm like waiting for it to like start fucking walking away or something. I think for Matt, he's already saw it walk away.
I just want to say, I want to reiterate while we have some time here that to buy Walmart, to go on a date with Nancy Pelosi if you can. How cool would that be? No, but honestly, like one of those things that I get. So our Discord and a lot of my demographic when it comes to Twitter is beginners, right? Novice traders, right? Beginner traders, just stepping into the game.
Your entire chat room. Cheers.
Oh yeah. But so one of the things that I always get right now is options. So I never really talked about my options trading just because it's super risky. Options are very risky, and you should know your plan going into them and stuff. And you could lose a lot, but you can win a lot. So one of the things that I just want to put out there is when people ask me all the time, like when trading options, kind of what I do or like what my strategy is. The first thing that you do is when it comes to portfolio size, right? I'm only trading at max 5% of my portfolio size in options. Other than that, I'm taking commons in Walmart, pretty much. I'm taking commons in inputs, or when I like make a put or whatever, I'm always hedging with commons sometimes. I've been hedging all the time in this market though. And also I just want to say, like, especially when you're doing options, when it comes to when you take out and stuff, like when I'm up 50 to 80%, I'm already scaling out. No matter when that hits, it could hit the first day, it could hit or whatever. But it's always to take your damn profits, and especially with options, like when you see the profit there, take it, because a gap down could happen any day, and you'll be screwed.
It's a great point you make with options, because the thing that's very interesting about options is when you get a spike, the premiums surge, right?
Yeah.
So prime example.
Zoom. This happened to us in Zoom.
Yeah, but prime example here, even Friday. I don't announce when I make a risky option play, because I do not want people to follow me into it.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
Like, so I say, here's like the more sure thing option play I'm making. And then, so Friday on OSTK, I bought some calls that were 2 weeks out to day trade that day as well, because I felt it was going to have a bounce from the bottom. Those calls on the initial surge went from 160 to 220. And the initial surge barely hit 55. The second surge, when it hit 56.50, those calls hit like 230. They barely surpassed the initial spike high that didn't get nearly as high. Why do I explain this? The reason I tell this and explain it is, when you get a spike and you're in a near-term option, just take the profit. You know, you know well enough to know stocks aren't just going to go and keep going up. So if you get a spike in a near-term stock and you're in the near-term call, just take the money on the first spike. You can always buy it back. Like 900 out of 901 times, it is going to come back down, and it's going to take all day to get back to that level.
Especially at open.
So take the spikes in options like that.
Premiums are always higher at the open.
Yeah.
If you can hold off from buying at the open, but yeah, if you can hold off from buying at the open,
dip, Chris, unless it drops.
Yeah. Oh yeah, if there's a dip, then yeah.
Then you can get some really cheap
higher
too.
Yeah, on anything that's gapping up, you're buying the gap up, so you're risking the backfill and the gap down, or just the fill in the gap. And 2, you're paying a higher premium at open, because there's usually more flow going into it, especially on no spread tickers. So if you can hold off the first 2 hours, your premiums, you'll see, will come down significantly, unless you're like going out a few months or something like that, which I often do.
Exactly.
And Thursdays too. Wednesday to Thursday is also a big premium killer day. So if you're going to buy like end of day Wednesday, if you can, unless there's a catalyst or some reason you think it's going to gap overnight, try to wait till Thursday morning if you're buying a weekly lotto. Those are the 2 biggest things with premium. If you're buying near-term expiration, that I've noticed, or it's just that I don't do.
Never buy on the way up is something I always tell everybody that does a one-on-one with me that asks options. I say, just never buy an option when the stock's moving up. Sideways or down, fine. Up, never buy it on the way up.
I'll follow money if they tack on, usually on a momentum stock, but that's about it. I won't I won't chase it if there's not money. Like if you see a block or a sweep go off and then it's not followed by anything else, I usually won't chase it. But if you see, or if you got software or services that you're paying for, if you see they keep tacking on, I'll follow them.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like Snap was up like 6% the other day, or 6.5%, and I still bought it. And it went up like another 2% or 3% within like the next 10 minutes. And luckily I sold for like 30%, and then it dumped, but they were still tacking on. So I just followed them. Yeah.
And that's definitely one way, if you're day trading it, for sure. But otherwise, like if, like Neo, I was playing calls and put scalps all week with that volume, because you can with that volume. But if it's just like, hey, the stock just made an abrupt move, like chances are if the volume is there, people are going to sell it off. So don't get caught buying that high a day option call price, and then you're sitting there waiting all day. 2 hours later, it's like $1.50 higher, and you're still not at even. You're like, oh, don't buy the spike. We can't really swing a lot of stocks. We can't do that. I think contrary to like end of August, early September, I think we're going to have a very tradable market. I think trading is going to be okay. Whereas at the end of August, the beginning of September, it sucked. It was like everything you were just forcing a trade. I think we're going to see some good moves, and I think we'll be able to do some stuff. So with that in mind, I think that, it should be an interesting week of trading if you're willing to just look at the coin from both sides. and we'll be good. So
True.
good yapping,
I agree.
you guys. Thanks to everybody who joined us.
Yep, this was
Josh
great.
is going to do some editing and get the rest of this out on video so people can rewatch it if they want to.
From now.
We're gonna all go get more drunk and eat.
I'm gonna jerk off. Wait, I'm gonna.
That's exactly what you're gonna do. What are you getting?
Nancy Pelosi.